Are we podcasting? We're podcasting, Jen.
I did. Did you see the story that I?
We're podcasting.
I think we're podcasting.
I think we're
don't
podcasting.
know what's going on right now?
I'm going to put on a do not disturb and an airplane mode, and somehow my mother will still call during this podcast.
I posted this.
I did see that.
Okay. Because I stuck up for our friend Paul, and if he is an a-hole,
I think he's an a-hole. I'm gonna say it. We're divided on this, but
yeah, I'm starting to think maybe, but.
I did watch the thing that was supposed to go live that didn't go live.
Yes.
But I only watched a few minutes of it, and I have thoughts.
Okay.
I would like to say a couple things that I think I got wrong.
Okay. Can I just say why I didn't watch it last night? Because I was behind on Succession.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you guys, that's my next one. I love it so much.
Have you watched it from the first season? Have you been? Are you caught up?
Yeah, that's like one. My husband and I only have like a few shows that we watch all the time.
Yeah.
And that is, we're obsessed.
Succession, man.
Okay, so what were you wrong about? Tell me. I'm so excited. I can't.
Well, first of all, I've only watched half of the live thing, and happy to report that Brett and Tiffany not only are as happy as can be, but look so fantastic and are delightfully in love.
I thought you were going to say baby on board.
I wish. And like Zach and Bliss are happy.
Yay!
And I have to say Kwame and Chelsea are happy. And Kwame seemed different. He also had to say he was sorry a bunch, which I kind of loved. And Chelsea seemed really chill, which was a nice version of her.
Yeah.
And then they had Arena on and she felt really bad. You know, sometimes those shows, they're just going to edit what makes for compelling television.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me promise you, you could with a strong edit. I honestly, you wouldn't even need that much editing. There's some video of me out there being an asshole on a baseball field that I know if that's what you thought of me as a human, you wouldn't like me. Like you know, it's just easy to change the narrative with a bunch of editing. That's why we said we were approaching these people as characters, not as you know.
Well, I watch Housewives and I do think that that's who they are a lot of times.
I kind of agree with that one.
Well, plus I've watched those like multiple seasons and it's like
they don't change.
If you're kind of consistently that's kind of who you are.
You can't keep up the facade.
Yeah.
Like at some point or another, the true you does come out.
And I do think like we love Lisa Rinna just for her spirit and that like she's
I love that she boogies all the time. She's way too thin, I'll say it. Well, I think, but she's you know, she is active and she's always moving about. And I love that she dances and it's never cringy with her for some reason.
You know, her mom was on the show too, Lois. And she was awesome and thin also. I think genetically that's who they are.
Good on you.
But her mom was in her 90s and was like, I mean, up until she passed was like, had so much energy just like Lisa.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lisa Rinna on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was like playing that part, like stirring the pot when she had to. And I think it got too much for her.
I
don't know, but I would love to have her on the podcast.
Ooh, hint, drop a hint.
Yeah, because
she can bring us all of her makeup that she does.
Britt and I were always like, oh, because I make my husband watch it. That's what love is. And he was like,
love is blind.
She's seen, love is, Love is
turning a blind eye.
Real Housewives.
Yeah.
But we were always like, God, she seems normal. Like, she seems like she's going to do the right thing in a car accident, you know?
She's also
like,
happy and happily married to Harry Hamlin, who she's just always flirty with. I just think she's
very sexual person. I don't relate on that level, but.
My husband wishes. He's like, do you stand any other way without your hands on your hips?
Harry Hamlin.
Well, my husband's Harry. Does that count?
He loves ham.
I love my husband so much. He had a little like he sometimes has like you has to get stuff taken off his skin because you guys get like
we're hot.
You guys get the skin cancery
growth,
stuff. Yeah. And my husband was like, can you take a picture of my back? I think I got this thing on my back that needs to be taken off.
Oh my God, and I make my husband do that all the time too.
And I took a picture of it and I gave it to Colin and his eyes kind of watered and he's like, is that how much hair is on my back?
Is that what you're looking at? I did.
Go, yeah, babe, there's a lot. And he's like, it's just really come in the last 2 years. I'm like, yeah, you're a grown ass man. I don't know what to tell you.
I got my weird flaky skin thing. I had to
go in and get that checked.
I did. I got it checked. And he was like, this is what he told me, look, I'm paranoid because I did tanning beds. I did baby oil and stupid shit like that when I was, a teen. And he goes, well, then here's what we're looking for on you. Something red with white bumps on it. Hard white bumps,
now like
pinpoints. And I was like, how come I'm not hearing this information? He's like, that's what is generally what people get if they get some kind of skin cancer from tanning beds. So there you know, ladies.
There you know. Watch out. Just if anything looks weird, go in. Like,
why
who cares?
Not, man?
My husband is, 6'2", 6'3", hefty build. His dermatologist, I think on a good day is 5'2".
Yep.
And he's this like thin man from Sri Lanka. And he literally like works Colin. Like we laugh so hard. And the doctor also laughs because he's always like, there's always so much, there's a lot of land mass on my husband. And so he just thoroughly like checks him all over. And he's just like, he has to like climb his shoulder, and it's awesome. But it is a good peace of mind. And now like my daughter has some skin stuff and Colin has skin stuff. So like, we just don't mess around. Like
nope.
And we've had our asses handed to us with weird stuff. Like when you have kids and you're like, wait, what is Phipps disease and hand, foot, mouth? Nobody's giving you the book on that.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, I'm going to the doctor because whatever it is, it's probably contagious. I'm going to give it to everybody at a birthday party, and not this time, everybody, not this time.
Yeah. Hopefully you just have a copay, because in my head, I'm like, well, this will be the best $25 I ever spent.
$25 to me, like, let's be honest.
Allergies.
$25. Like, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but you're spending that on a drive-through at Starbucks. If you're
That's
getting
what I was gonna say, Starbucks,
like, spend it on yourself, getting a dermatologist to look at you. It's nobody loves to spend money on copays, but it sure is hell a lot better than getting your skin scooped out with it because it's too late. Like, don't do it.
This guy, I really like him. He does Delilah's. We have to check her scalp every 6 months because I guess it's bad. You get them if you get moles like in your scalp behind your ears. So he just takes pictures of them, and then
smart.
And we also tend to be a real sebaceous family, meaning like a lot of dandruff, a lot of
fair. I always go in and I'm like, the dermatologist. There's one I don't like. There's an office of like 4, and if you're just like in a hurry and you want to have something checked, you got to deal with whoever you get. And we don't get our like favorite Sri Lankan guy. And so there's this one, and he's like very put together and like slick, and he just bugs me. And so he came in and was dealing with Eleanor. And then I was like, by the way, I got a couple of spots. And he's like, you have to make an appointment. I'm like, God damn.
No two for ones.
No two for ones. I'm the asshole. I'm like, hey, doctor, while you're checking my daughter's forehead, what do you think of this on my arm? And he's like, I think if you want me to look at it, you got to make an appointment.
Oh my God. I still get amazed by like, feels like it happens a lot in Vegas. Like Vegas is one of those places where you're like, wow, that sounds really intense.
Yeah.
But like, it feels like I'm shocked every time I go somewhere and I see that guy that's got like the red, he's got like a raccoon thing where he's like, his stupid sunglasses have left like this white place around his eyes. And it's like red. Like, I'm like, you are Irish. Let's not act like you can, and you're got a receding hairline.
Yeah, just because you're doing it 2 days out of the year doesn't mean you're not going to get the
work on my base. Yeah. No, you can't get one.
If the freckles grow together, that is not a tan.
Base cancer? What are you trying for, man? You got to wear sunscreen.
That's 100% true. And you know what I have to say to that? I know every mom, especially nowadays, it's like a battle to get your kid to wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always like, try to find the one that smells good. That's easy to put on.
The spray, the lotion.
Everybody has a fit. Nobody wants to wear it. And, we had a birthday party for Eleanor a few days ago. And my son they were swimming. And I'm like, little Irish one, you need sunscreen. Pitches a fit. He's 12, by the way. He's 12.
Yeah.
I put it in every bag. He's got it everywhere. The dermatologist said, Finn, you really got to watch like your nose area. You've got a lot of freckling.
Blue eyes.
You've got very light skin. Like you're going to burn. And he does listen to everybody else except me. So then I said, Finn, you're going to burn. I don't want to listen to her. She's no fun. So he got a sunburn, and it was a measured. I knew he wasn't like scorched, but I knew that he was going to end up pink. And I was like, well, maybe if he feels the discomfort of a sunburn, he will now know that I'm not full of shit.
Yeah.
But those are hard things to know when you can do that, because you don't, like, Finn got in trouble the other day from a coach, and the coach was kind of telling me about it. And I go, can you tell him? Like, I'd like to step out of this and let you just be upset with him.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even remember what it was about. And I said,
don't think I'm one of those parents that's not okay with other adults yelling at my kid.
Because I wondered, I was like, why is this coach telling me this and not him? I think I know what it was. He was being like disruptive. I wasn't at the practice, so he was being disruptive and like making it hard for the coach. And I was like, no. You tell him, because if you're disappointed in him, this is a very measured moment that I can step out and he's going to learn more in that moment than me going, well, your coach had a talking to with me and you've not been listening, in one ear out the other. I need it to kind of come from the source. I just like when I can sort of not predict, but be a part of that process so that it's not too much. I don't know. I need to let up at some point.
On the sun of things, I think this weekend was a different sun situation because it didn't feel that hot, but my husband got sunburned and he's not a guy that burns either.
Well, buyer beware. Like sun in a 75-degree heat will get you because you're comfortable.
Yeah. You never get that hot.
You never get that hot. Like me, I'm like, oh God, I'm sticky. And then I don't want to be outside.
I've rarely seen my husband with a sunburn, and he is Scottish. So
I'm like, it tracks.
But he said when he was a kid, they used to swim all the time. This is the 70s for you. His mom would drop him off as soon as the pool opened, maybe a little beforehand, come back at about 4:00. And
ain't that the way it was?
He's like, we just would peel our noses.
Totally.
No such thing as sunscreen. We would remember you'd get like blisters and your parents were like, you're going to wear my t-shirt tomorrow at the pool. Like
totally. That was the solution. I remember I was in 3rd grade and I just learned how to water ski. And so my dad was really excited that I was water skiing, and he was in the boat with his buddy. And I think they both were like, beers make water skiing better. And so my friend Mindy and I were being pulled one after the next because we were so excited we just learned how to ski.
Yeah.
And at no point did my dad go, we've been out in the sun for a good 7 hours. And it's her first time out in the sun since, I don't know, winter. So why is she purple? So I get done and I'm like, Dad, I don't feel very good. I feel kind of barfy and my skin feels like, I don't know, someone's peeling it off with a potato peeler. Is that normal? And he's like, shit, don't tell your mom. And I was like, no, I think I got to tell her because I think I'm going to be miserable for the next 48 hours. And I literally laid on my back and pushed myself along the carpet of our house because I was so itchy.
Oh, itch. Oh,
and
so that must have been like,
it looked like I was like shedding my skin.
Yeah, but those first nights though, I remember like
monster
crying in bed.
Oh my
where
God.
You're like, are these sheets cutting me? Now I know we've never had a high thread count, but we
gotten real cheap, people. This feels like honeycombs.
Are these razor blade sheets?
Yeah.
What I can remember so many times, like even through high school, I don't think I used sunscreen until I was probably in my 20s or something. But I remember being like, somebody would take off like their shirt or they'd go, hey, how's this sunburn looking? You would go, oh my God. There's weird shaped bubbles all over. You would just, like the crazy, it was like a fire bubble.
Yeah.
Like,
and then if you're where I'm from, like everybody would like they're farmer kids. So you'd go to the pool and their arms and their hands were really tan and their faces really tan and you get a farmer tan. And it looks like they're wearing a white human t-shirt, like white human skin. I'm like,
how is that? Were t-shirts really that good at blocking SPF rays?
I believe so. The proof is in the very pasty pudding.
Maybe because they're white shirts that like reflect.
Well, I think they're wearing like a flannel or a button up, like farm shirts. I always knew to be like a really soft, breathable, like cotton with like the button up. That's what my dad always wore. And then when he'd go to the pool, it was like just literally like the whitest skin you've ever seen. And my dad's Czech, so he gets like dark.
Yeah.
So he had like really dark forearms and then just a white ass torso. It looked like a weird doll. It was like, like you know how Barbie has the like suntan parts?
Yeah.
Think of like a middle-aged kind of enjoys too many desserts, Dewey Hensley at the pool. With his torso just being the white part.
Picture it. I think I've seen it. I've just seen
my husband too, but he just doesn't get brown anywhere. But he is so white. And then he chooses to wear a Speedo, which is not my fault.
Yeah. He slathers up pretty good though. Cause
he does. Well, we were all raised, like once we started to know like what the fallout was going to be. And I remember you know how people will tell you something or do something and you're like, that's going to stick.
Yeah.
I remember somebody said that like a cousin of mine could no longer wear like a certain kind of shoe because they found a melanoma on her ankle and they removed it and it looked like, this is my mom, this is Terry Hensley. She probably told me the story 18 times and then it just got to this point so that I would really listen. She's like, it looked like somebody took out her ankle with an ice cream scooper. And I was like, all I could think about was this weird like puzzle piece being missing from her ankle. And then she couldn't wear certain shoes. And I was like, well, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So then I just slathered it on.
Look, I describe the medical tool that they use on my back sometimes as a melon baller. It's a little less deep than an actual melon baller, but that's kind of what it looks like. They numb it first. But so if you're at Coachella, you guys, make sure you've got your sunscreen on.
Real fast before we go to Coachella, because we're going to talk about a party we've never been invited to, nor that we will ever go, Coachella. But I wanted to say real quick, people were asking if you had fun at the premiere.
Oh my gosh.
The premiere for Paint, which is out, which is the movie that Jen's husband directed with Owen Wilson.
We had so much fun. I was so nervous the entire night. I mean, until my drinks kicked in.
You're right.
Yeah. Which, it was kind of like when you throw a party at your house and you always lose your drink because you're like really, you're into the night and you're like,
sober.
I haven't had any.
Yeah. Cause you're like, how, and you burn it off. Cause you're like, I'm going to guzzle this and then I'm going to do 800 steps.
It was so fun. I was so proud of my husband and he was really sweet. Like before the movie, he stood up and he said,
oh
like,
my
I
God.
didn't know what he was going to say, but he
talked about Jen in the nicest way.
He really, really did. And it's funny because I was filming him up on stage and I dropped my phone when he started to talk about me. And I felt appreciated and I felt proud of him. And I just
she looked beautiful.
Loved.
She looked like $1 million. We had fun. I had a lot of fun before the premiere because we are dorks and my husband and I got there real early and I was like, I just want to be here so when Jenny gets here and I can see her and we can I can watch her.
She's texting me. How far away are you?
Yeah,
we're here.
I was like at like 4. The call time was like 5:30. I'm like, we're here. And I texted Tony and I was like, we're early, so we're gonna go to the bar right next to where Jen's gonna come out and walk the red carpet with Britt. So just text me. Cut to, we're in the weirdest bar, and the only thing that sounds good is they have like mashed potatoes. So I ate like a bowl of mashed potatoes and I pounded a couple of vodka tonics. None of that worked well, and I had to like
vodka's just a version of potatoes.
Oh God, aren't you right? And I like all of it. So I just remember being like, Kristin, you need to pound water while you're at the actual premiere because
and then she mistook water for vodka tonics.
And then I was like, this is boring. I'm gonna have more vodka tonics.
No, she was a lot of fun, but it was funny because she's at the bar. She's like, we're all here, sending me a list of who's at the bar, and it was literally like 15 feet away from where I was. But I was like, I didn't need to be there because I wasn't like.
Well, you guys walked the carpet. The way it goes is they walk the carpet together, and then the press want to talk to Britt by himself.
Yeah. So I was watching, and I kept saying to people, like, "Do I need to be here? Am I like?" He couldn't even see that I was there. Yeah. So I was like, "Shouldn't I just go get a drink?
Yes.
Doesn't it feel like I should?" So
Colin and I walked through while Britt was getting in his interviews like real rednecks. We were like, "Woo!"
It was great. It was so perfect. We had all these people there that like loved us and
so many friends,
so supportive,
so much family. It was awesome.
It was really a good time. So thanks for asking, everybody.
I would just like to say, not to toot my own horn, but I wore a dress that showed my legs. And the reason I'm saying this is because Jenny always says you need to wear short stuff more because you have nice legs.
So I wore
this skirt and high heels, which I immediately regretted because my feet hurt 20 minutes in. So at the party.
Are you going to talk about my mother-in-law?
Oh,
because
I forgot about that. I was going to say I was holding my shoes by the time we were ready to go.
Yeah, well, my mother-in-law was like, "Ooh, Kristin, I never knew you had such nice legs. They're really..." She just was going on and on about it to the point that Kristin came up to me. She's like, your mother-in-law's really talking about my legs a lot.
I didn't say it like that. I was so excited about it. I was like, she loves my legs.
Well, she was like, and you did say, you were like, you were right. She really likes my legs. And then like the next day, kind of the first thing while I'm pouring my coffee, my mother-in-law was like, Kristin's legs are tremendous. She could be a leg model. Does she know that? I'm like, I think she does now because you did not let up on it all night.
Meanwhile, I'm like, tell me more. I'm like, why am I even wearing this dress? Let me just walk around in my underpants.
Did I mention too that everybody had like 14 Chardonnays that night?
14
so
Chardonnays.
It was
myself included. At one point, Colin was like, I think we're done. And I know that that's code for you're coming on real strong. I was forcing people to give me their numbers. I was like, I knew I was a risk at that moment.
Well, at like 10 o'clock, which I knew it was wrapping up, I was like, well, it looks like the bar's going to close. I better double fist it now because I've been holding off all night.
Yeah.
And at that point, I started giving love lessons to people,
She's
doing
like, I've got my tarot
relationship
cards.
breakdowns. And it was like, nope, Jen's time to go home.
Yep. At one point, my husband, he was dressed like a cowboy, which I just think is so hot because he's from Texas. He pulls it off, you know. So he got
totally
boots.
Does.
He went and got a whole new outfit for this thing. It was so cool. So we were sitting there, and I knew I was on a little bit of a tear, and because he knows me, and I was like literally talking to any human that would have a conversation with me. And like then I was like
buzzing
on to
around.
The next. Yeah, I was buzzing around. They were like, where is her Ritalin? And I was like, who cares?
Not
I'm making
tonight.
So many friends that I've had half conversations with. It's great. So then Colin gave me a drink and I took a drink of it and I was like, this is just soda water.
I know what you're trying to do here.
And he goes, no, it's not. And I go, do you think this is my first barbecue? Do you think this is my first rodeo? You think you think people haven't tried to give me fake drinks, man? Like, I'm not that drunk that I would know that a drink doesn't have the sauce in it.
Yeah. Well, I also, this is like pre my getting 2 Chardonnays double fisted. Like, I don't know.
You were fine the whole time.
I kind of was, but I wish I could say and blame alcohol for this, which Wendy McClendon Covey is in the movie. And we follow her on Instagram and I feel like I know her. I know her cats and I know her husband.
It's weird.
In my head. And so I went up to him and I think it might have been different if I would have led with, I am Britt's wife, Britt, who works with your wife.
Who directed your wife in a movie, but you didn't.
But I didn't. No. I just went up and like I do at parties and I was like, hey, I'm Jen.
And he's like,
I know all about you and your cats, and I was talking about you in a podcast because you're such a romantic. And he was like, literally, he's a nice guy. He goes,
he's a cop too.
I have to go to the bathroom. And I was blocking him. So sorry about that. He's a lovely man.
It's my favorite when Jen gets socially awkward. I can see it in her face, but she can't say the words that would
I can't got awkward trying to talk about it.
Yeah, she's like hearing herself and she's like she can't take the 2 steps back to go, let me start again.
Yep. Nope.
She's like, I know your anniversary just happened.
Yeah, let me double down.
Yeah, I like to watch you and your wife as you work with your cats.
Yeah, I bet it was going to sound like I said when you make love, and I wasn't going to, but I wouldn't. Not that I'd be.
No, you just.
Not that I'm asking either. So.
It got weird fast, but we came, we saw, we had fun. It was really fun.
My husband did this just not to say all good things about him. He did this very weird thing where we were at a school event and all the kids were off playing and I was there with all these moms that I know. And for some reason he brings up that like in the town he grew up in, there were like these families that his parents didn't hang out with because they had key parties. And I just felt like he was saying it in a way that he was like, I'm just testing the waters to see how everybody reacts to it.
That's very your husband.
And I literally said it in front of all these women. I'm like, just so you know, he's not gauging your interest level. I know it sounds like that, and then it made it sound like worse.
Yeah. Because he does that thing where he's like, he has such a sharp sense of humor, but sometimes he's so like, he says things so quietly that you're like, are you making fun of me or are you teasing right now or are you being serious? And I fall into that trap all the time. So I'm sure new set of parents are like, he's absolutely asking if we're into swinging.
100%.
He wants to have a key party.
They don't know his sense of humor yet. And
also, your crowd at that school, I'm thinking like, they'd be like, yep.
For some of them, there's a language barrier. So all they did was Google key party when they went home.
And then they're like, my answer is yes. You're like, I respect you. Yes, my answer is yes.
Oh, man.
Well,
okay.
I think we're going to just we know that Coachella is happening right now. Will it be happening when this comes out?
I don't know.
Coachella to me, first of all, I think it's just because the lead up, am I so old? The lead up takes so long. People are trying to find their outfits on Coachella.
So long. Yeah.
I think if I were in my young 20s.
We got to say what it is because we know so much about it because it's Southern California, but I don't know. Does everybody else?
Coachella is a big, fancy music festival in the middle of the desert that you pay $1 billion to go to. And only if you're like super billionaire do you get like any seats at the actual music. And I think everybody just goes to wear booby tops. And
I don't even think you get a seat. I think
you
get
dress like Cher from the 70s.
Yeah.
And then you get herpes.
I think so.
I think that's the goal.
Yeah. And it's the weird thing is to me, it's a live music show. It's amplified. I'm like, why even pay for a ticket?
Oh my God.
Is it just to get, you've been, haven't you?
Absolutely
no,
not.
You've been
I've
to
Burning Man.
Oh, that's worse.
Which that's another conversation.
That's Coachella without the Diet Coke sponsorship, basically.
I will tell you what Burning Man is, and I've been 2 times. Burning Man is a festival in a playa somewhere in a desert, and I can't remember for many reasons. And I got looped into going with a boyfriend twice. I was with him for too long. Two Burning Mans too long. And the whole thing is it's people love Burning Man, and I can't stand it.
It's a life for people.
It is a life.
They call them burners.
They call them burners, and they call people that aren't burners, like there's a word for it now. I can't remember, like civilian or like
I call them burnouts.
Yeah, I'm like,
there's kind of a trend.
The whole thing is that you go, oh my God, so many people are going to be so mad at this. Like
no one who goes to Burning
festival.
Man listens to our podcast.
Right.
There's no way.
Oh my God, I'd be so happy. Okay.
They're like, those basic bitches. Yeah. We're not going to listen to that podcast. We'll get dumber.
So you go, and the whole thing is like, there's like an art installation. It looks like Mad Max. It looks like Mad Max. So it's like post-apocalyptic. It's supposed to be like, there's no money. It's only trade. So like, but basically it's all induced by copious amounts of drugs.
Sure.
And you go, and everybody can walk around naked if they want, but the only people that walk around naked are the really ones that should not be naked. And I saw like so many like 70-year-olds like testicles, and I was like, this is not hot. Like, to me, I thought the idea of it sounded really sexy and cool. And you dress up like these costumes that are sort of like,
well, I love
sexually
costumes.
elusive, like eyes wide shut. Like you're supposed to have like these masks on and all that shit. But here's what I'll tell you: there was a freaking dust storm. Ooh. And I'm highly allergic.
Yeah.
And I don't like
allergies.
I don't like squatting. I'm certainly not going to poop in the bush. Like, I just need some creature comforts. And the whole thing was
will
like,
get constipated, you guys.
I will. I get a little, because there's so many people around. I don't want to like, where am I supposed to go on a playa, which is a flat piece of like sand? Where am I supposed to go? So they have outhouses that get disgusting in 2 days.
God.
It just was not my thing.
It's a desert, so it's hot.
It's a desert. I went 2 times like a moron, and both times I did not enjoy it. I would much rather go to a Taylor Swift concert or like an outdoor.
That's
oh my God, all those festivals when we were growing up, like Lone Tree Days and Wallback Days and all those like country western fun. Like
that is not the music festival I thought you were going to. Although I would love to go to one of those.
They're so fun. That's way more fun than Burning Man.
This is not going to be that much of a shock, which is the idea of going to an all-day music festival to me at this age feels punitive. Like it feels like a punishment and I'm sure I will have to do it.
Right.
Like even going to the Hollywood Bowl to see Billy Joel, I'm like, oh God, the parking and the walking, I can't do it. And there's mosquitoes. And I am that bad about going to those. But when I was just graduated from high school, I went to Lollapalooza at the big open air amphitheater.
That's
in
very
Kansas
similar
City.
to like Coachella, I think.
Yeah. Also that I got what I think was just ditchweed from some guy on the way back from the bathroom and shared it with everybody. And I remember
like, I watch you with your cats, and I was wondering if you might share some of your ditchweed.
Yeah. Here's what I remember: falling asleep at about 3 o'clock on the blanket, and then waking up around 8:30 when Beastie Boys came on.
Oh, for sure.
So,
That's a good one.
but because I'd gotten a good nap and was basically sobered up, I was able to drive home, which was great because everybody else had severe diarrhea. So I kept having to pull over.
God, thank God them, not you.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah.
I did go to Jazz Fest in New Orleans.
Ooh, that would be
That
fun.
was awesome. Here's why Jazz Fest has it figured out. First of all, the music is just, it's like good music. I know I sound so old, but like, I don't want to go listen to like, like techno-y shit. And like
no.
at Burning Man, it's not about music. It's everything else. Like nobody, it's just like, it's like literally like listening to like one of those wire things going, rah, 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 rah.
Oh,
I don't want that.
Nope.
I want to go boogie.
Nope.
I want to go feel good. And I went to Jazz Fest and they have all this incredible food out front, just like the Cajun smells and spices.
Gosh.
And I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but this is the sexiest thing I've ever been a part of. It's so much meat on a stick.
Those things. Jazz is probably the only kind of music that I can listen to, not know it, and still enjoy it.
Right. And there's a lot of other kinds of music at Jazz Fest, which is the thing I didn't know, because jazz, I'm kind of like, okay, in a park, eating a picnic, that's really fun. But they had, and might I say, I was in the cheap seats and I looked down and I was like, I can see this man's abs and outline from the cheap seats.
Whoa.
Well done, Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, he was at the Jazz Fest? Whoa.
It was awesome. And like, what's his name? Who I love. Dave Matthews Band. I'm a real sucker for Dave Matthews Band. I love all those guys, man. Cargo shorts. Okay.
Yeah. My dad was a huge music aficionado. So if there was like a Jazz Fest in the tri-state area, you better believe he's packing up the kids in a porta potty and going. There was nothing like that. It was like usually put on by like the local VFW or something like, which there's great. Like I remember going to if you're from Bellevue, Nebraska, you will remember that in the 4th of July, there was always this big festival. They would have like,
of course, that's what I'm talking about.
In the town square where it would be like, they would play like like banjos and stuff like that kind of festival. And then the parents would drink beer and you would just like get burnt by playground equipment.
Totally.
Like,
we had the Fireman's Ball, which was a Merritt County treasure. And that's where my friend Dale Peters brought his gin distillery on the back of his truck. And we had the pleasure of trying his homemade gin. I woke up in another country. I didn't even, that felt so painful that it was not a smooth ride.
No.
The homemade gin, but it was so fun. And like all the parents will dance and like they had the, oh God, what was the band? Like they were called like the Rumblers or something. They were kind of a well-known.
Is it called the Rumbles?
The Rumbles or the Rumblers or something. It was kind of a famous band for for the state. And like
they played the Midwestern circuit for sure.
Yes. They're like all of those fun, like 70s, like rock music.
Bad to the bone.
Right. Or it was like, Wasting Away in Margaritaville, like all that. And then stuff that parents would dance to. And it was that is my kind of festival. But Coachella, I don't have the ab plate. I don't have the time, and I don't have the energy to go listen to any of those people that are playing it.
I'm not like I am whatever the opposite of a musical elitist is. I am that. Like
I'm same.
I am
basic.
I'm like, you know what? If I buy a ticket, please play your hits. That's what I'm here for. And
I know.
That's what we're all there for, honestly.
Yeah.
But don't play your new album. I'll buy it, but I don't.
Let me get used to it.
Let me wait for the singles to get released on the radio like a decent
I do
band,
like when a band plays their new stuff every 8th song because then I can go pee.
Sure.
Then I'm not missing anything.
Good point. Well, I understand that like Coachella started off as like an indie thing, and
they all do, and then they're like, how much?
But it's out in the desert, so they didn't have to like pay fees and all this stuff, whatever. But now it is literally, there's like a Mac.
Yeah, there's an American Express booth there. Give me a break.
It is like the most commercialized thing you've ever heard of. And
I want to go to Woodstock. That would have been my jam. I'm dead serious. I would have loved Woodstock. I would have loved it. I feel like I missed out on my moment not going to Woodstock.
Can I tell you, have I ever
I just
told you this
burped.
story? I'm going to say this, but if we have to edit it out, and I don't know why, that my husband's friend, Harry Berg, his dad was the doctor in Woodstock, New York. The only doctor
Yep.
because the thing with Woodstock is they were totally overwhelmed. They didn't have enough
Yep.
restrooms. They didn't have enough like food.
It also rained, which just made everything super dangerous because it was the first time they were kind of building these temporary stages.
Yeah.
And they had such an incredible lineup and they had to support the lineup. And like a lot of these artists had to play in the rain.
Yeah. Not to mention the drugs that were used.
Well,
So
in all fairness, LSD and a lot of pot, but that was kind of what I liked about it wasn't like, I don't know, it felt like
drugs were a little bit safer
like
back then for sure. Definitely you might get dehydrated and need to go see a doctor.
100%. And a lot of kids did. That's exactly what
Well,
happened.
so they brought him to Mr. Berg's house, evidently, because he was like the town doctor, and he has all this artwork and stuff that like
Makes me so
he has like a
happy.
Jimi Hendrix artwork because people couldn't pay. Like they bought all this stuff at Woodstock, and then they would like trade him.
I know they would trade for eggs, and the town. The thing I love about Woodstock is that, you know, obviously it was filled with the country's youth. It was very young, and like they were all trying to do this thing. And there's a documentary on it that just like I literally have so much FOMO. I feel like I want to like close my eyes and like go back in time, and I was like, I should be there. And because it's all my favorite music, you know? So they were in Woodstock, and it started to rain, and they lost security, and there were kids that were coming in, but they weren't like storming the stage. It was just there were a lot of people that were trying to go to the stages to hear the music. And so the townspeople knew they were running low on water. They were running low on food. So like all of these town folk got together and made sandwiches and delivered them to the kids.
Gosh.
And the kids were really thankful and grateful and kind. And like they would split the sandwich with someone and share it. And like they all walked peacefully back to however they got there. Like there was just an appreciation. I think Woodstock was literally like, should be like the seventh wonder of the world.
Well,
is there 7 or are there 8?
I think there's
Can I
7,
take away
so
one
8.
of the freaking?
I don't
can
know.
I take
There's
away?
probably more than that. We're
Fine.
just
I just want to put
counting at some
Woodstock
point.
on there because I think it was so
You know,
awesome.
our friend Eileen, her mom went when she was like
My
in
mom could have
college.
went. She was like, ugh.
It was, you know what? It was a little like saucy to go.
Oh,
it
no,
was
I
like,
know.
like
You were a
'cause
hippie,
people
kinda.
didn't want you to go to it.
Yeah.
And all I really remember her saying was like just how backed up the traffic was that you were like waiting for like a day to even get close to it because it was like everybody wanted to go on this.
But
two-lane
that would have
highway.
been so fun. You would have
Oh,
been meeting
yeah.
all these other people and like hot guys, and you're like young, and you're going to listen to the music, and there's like cause. It's also sexy. Stupid
Yeah.
Burning Man was like, how much for a ticket? And I got a crap in the sandbanks in front of this 80-year-old naked guy. Thanks,
Also,
no.
by the way, you trust fund kids going to Coachella, you know, you can't, they like rent RVs that are like to go
it's
to.
very exclusive. You know
Yeah.
what am I trying to say? It's very like exclusionary. Like if you
Yes.
don't have a ton of dough, you're not gonna go. And I
People
don't
like-
think that's right.
People like they like pick their outfits because and my friend Anna, who's a stylist, was in Vogue
Yeah.
because of her crazy Coachella outfit that she was wearing. Like that's kind of why people go now is to like get seen or like.
I know, and that makes me feel grody because I feel like you should just be wearing like a skizzy old tank top and like
You should be
denim
wearing
jeans, and then you just have a beer in your hand all the time.
a bikini top.
Totally.
You should have a fanny pack on
Oh my God.
with your sunscreen
With your
and
okay,
your cash
well,
in it. Yeah.
You're like, fine. You're just doing that for your mom. You're wearing that because your mom is like, please, just be safe and wear this. And wear this. Condom in there, maybe? I don't know. Saying. Music moves me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it moves a lot of people, obviously. But I mean,
Can I tell you who my hot flash is? Because it's about this conversation.
oh, yeah.
Hot flash, hot flash. Hot flash.
Yeah.
Okay, so my hot flash is obviously Taylor Swift. Now,
Yep.
I love my daughter, but I'm a little mad at her because she will just not get in to Taylor Swift.
What?
I am like, I play it all the time, and she's like, she loves Queen. She's like, I'm like, we can't see him. He's dead.
Have you like played this, like told her the history and played some of the songs
Of course,
for her, like
she doesn't
who
want
they're
to hear
about
it.
and stuff?
It's because it's coming from me. I'm like, get with your friends because I know that they're into it. Because I want to go to that Eras tour so damn bad. And now I think it's almost over. But I have enjoyed nothing more than being like a little fly on the wall and seeing these videos of the girls getting ready. And the thing is, you wear the different outfit from that era that you love the most. So like girls are wearing like, you know, crop tops and sparklies, and then they're also wearing like when she was like really doing the like folky thing with their braids, like she's just awesome. And this tour, she's made it in stadiums, and I don't think she did this by mistake. She has created these huge monitors so that if you are in the cheapest seat in the house, you can see her.
For sure, yeah.
And you can see it from the parking lot. So the parking lot is full of people getting to watch
like
the
tailgating and watching.
tailgating. And like, I think if she wanted to, if her people wanted to, they could shut that down. They could say like,
Totally.
you're on private property. And I think she's like, nope, let him have it. And you
Yeah.
can see her on that Jumbotron screen clear as day. So I know that the tickets are expensive, and I know she's making a gazillion dollars.
Sure.
But I feel like that's money. I'd rather spend money at that than dumb Burning Man.
She could do 3 concerts a day every day of the year, and they would be sold out.
It's
so
true.
she has to charge that. Like
Yes.
we're gonna wear Taylor Swift out, you guys, and we need to keep she is an 8th wonder of the. She's an American treasure,
She's an
you
American
guys.
treasure. She's
hate-
my hot flash. She's Jen's hot flash.
I
We love
hate
her.
how much shit she gets, you
God,
guys.
she
She
does.
is singing our anthems.
Yep.
Sorry if they make you uncomfortable, but like, here's my approach that we're going to take with Eleanor. She knows how hot Jake Gyllenhaal is.
Yeah,
She
she's
knows.
aware.
She's aware.
She's
okay.
aware.
So I think what we do is we describe like what?
I'm like, are we having Jake on the podcast? Is that the goal?
You know what?
'Cause
If you
I'm
want to
not-
come on,
Hi,
Jake, and
if
tell your
if you're
side of the
listening right now,
story,
Jake.
I think that would really get us more listeners.
So if any of you guys know Jake on a personal
Jake
level,
Gyllenhaal hookup.
yeah, if you can send us his number.
Because rumor has it All Too Well is about you and you being an asshole. So
Yeah.
let's
see it.
let's have you come and plead your case.
Right, and if you know Taylor, Jake, we'd like you to hit the skids, and we'll have Taylor in. So if anybody knows Taylor and she wants to come to our podcast, yep, the answer is yes.
And the
answer is-
reason why is we need Eleanor to get into you, Taylor Swift.
yeah, Taylor, can you just sell yourself to my daughter? That would, just what are the high points of your, I don't know, transcendent success?
Yeah.
My
What's
daughter's
it like
like,
to
well,
be?
she's not Freddie Mercury. I'm like, no.
She is bigger than the Beatles.
She's the biggest. And you know what I love about her is like, there is this thing that she has done that she's figured out. And she owns herself.
Mhm.
She's inclusive, but there's something about her that feels so incredibly like grounded on earth. Here she is in this like stratosphere of this tour.
Yes.
And there's something that feels like you could go have an ice cream cone with Taylor Swift and it would be like the most joyful, down to earth, and she would just talk about her favorite ice cream. Meanwhile, her brain is operating on such an incredible
High
level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she is really, really special.
She's an outlier too because she got famous so young and still
Totally.
came out a good person, you know?
Yeah, and she had to deal with that creep ass that like she
good.
won the sexual assault case. That the other bro that wanted to take her music, she's like, "Fuck you, buddy. I'm
I'll
gonna
just
re-record
because I know who my fans are and
I know
they'll
they'll
support me.
and they did, and now she gets a stadium tour. I'm so
Yeah.
into it. I want to go to
am
that
too.
that concert so damn bad.
People
And
love Taylor Swift.
T Swift all the way.
Just to show you how much people love I Mom So Hard. I'm just putting it
We're
out
just
there,
gonna put it-
Jake.
Or Taylor, if you want us to open for you, open the door for we'll be
Yeah.
your,
Yeah. You know what? We'll do anything.
We'll do anything because I really want to go to your show and my daughter doesn't.
Well,
Okay.
she doesn't want to
No,
because
I
we've been
said
talking about we got
There was a little part of me that was like, this is so much money. But if she showed enthusiasm, would I just like try as hard as I can to go to one of her shows? And Eleanor literally was like a full stop. And I was like, I don't have time to grow your enthusiasm for this and spend that kind of dough. I'm not going to go and look over. And Eleanor's like arms crossed, like, I don't know why we're doing this. I don't want to wear fringe.
Every mom learns that lesson, taking the kids to an art museum because there's
Yeah,
a free
nope.
membership. You're like, this like hurt my feelings.
This hurt my feelings. You guys are driving by all the good stuff.
All right, here's a mom box for you.
Okay.
You guys, okay. This is from Mandy LM. Those are her last initials.
Okay.
LM is not LMNOP is her last name. That's not true.
ELLEM.
Okay. So this mom box has some callbacks. I'm so delighted by this. Hey guys, who knows if you'll even see this, but I have been unable to get this image out of my mind since watching the episode where you guys told us about the sweet soul saving a friend in the snow. So the last podcast, they weren't actually friends. Just rando sees a guy upside down in the snow, buried in the snow, and saves him. All I could think was, man, thank God it was that guy that rolled up on him first and not Kristin. Can you imagine? She's got him unpacked from the waist up, because obviously she started at his feet like she said she would. And all you see is this tubing sticking out of his butt. And she's getting that water bottle attached to get him some hydration on board. After, while talking to the news crew, the friend is like, I'm so thankful for Kristin for saving my life, but I just can't understand her putting the tubing in my butt. Pan over to Kristin. No one's going down on my watch, okay? Because she's always ready with an enema, you guys. Awesome. I could possibly be too invested, but I've literally laughed at this image in my head for days now and just thought I'd share. I love you, ladies. Keep rocking. And I said, that's amazing. This might be a mom box. And there is a follow-up response.
Okay. I would just like to interject real quick. I agree with you.
I've got one survival skill and I don't know when to use it.
And I was like, instead of using the tube to actually go from his actual mouth to the outside world and save his life, I would think to myself, this guy needs literal hydration right now. Mm-hmm. And thank God I'm packing.
Yeah.
Because it's snow and you can't use that. You've got to have your tubing and actual water for it to go in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just would have literally quit halfway.
So Mandy then responded, me after I saw y'all responded to my hubs. I told you they would be my mom friends if they knew me. And her hubs, with an exaggerated expression, said, Mo, you have to get a life. She said, I'm rethinking my vows. Who needs them? I love my husband. He keeps me and my brain grounded. God bless him.
Oh, my gosh. That's really funny. And I just would like to say that it is lucky that other guy
it
found
was him
him.
And not,
Well, first of all, just literally, I wouldn't have done the math on digging him out.
And I get him out safely. Thank God.
And I would have been thinking about the enema, honestly, because I've been waiting for the day. I've been trying to figure out a time when someone will need that skill. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now. Here's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to listen and they're going to be like, why is she obsessed with this idea of hydration through the butt? And then somebody's going to be on a hike somewhere and they're going to find somebody that's that's dehydrated. And they're going to go, I don't know why I know this, but if we put water in their butt, they're going to survive. And then they do. And then I'm going to be thanked publicly and with cash.
She insisted and I wasn't even thirsty. Like, beware if you're going to Burning Man. The girl in the tubing outfit has got an agenda that she... You know who'd give you an enema? Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift would... Absolutely.
Yeah, she would.
She's smart enough to know that there's other options. But she would be nice to me about it.
Yeah.
And maybe she'd be like, you know what? I appreciate your moxie. And then she'd write a song.
She is a girl's girl.
She is a girl's girl. And she'd be like, my friend insists on enemas. I don't know what to tell her. There's another choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Taylor, I'm here for you. You guys, I think we podcasted.
I think we did.
Bye-bye.